Could a cheap keyboard and a mistake create a whole new type of music overnight? That's exactly what happened with one of the songs on our list. We're diving deep into the weirdest, most shocking, and most important songs that created the reggae music we know and love today. 1. Welcome to Jamrock by Damian Marley. By the 2002, reggae and dancehall had been around for decades. The question on everyone's mind was, what's next? How could the music move forward while still honoring its powerful past? The answer came from the youngest son of the legendary Bob Marley. His name was Damian Jr. Gong Marley. With his song Welcome to Jamrock, Damian Marley created a perfect storm. He managed to blend the old and the new in a way no one had ever done before. The song is built around a sample from a classic 1982nd reggae track, giving it an instant feeling of old-school authenticity. The beat is heavy and tough, a true roots reggae rhythm. But on top of that classic foundation, Damian brought a modern, fiery energy. He doesn't just sing. He chants and rhymes in a style that is part dancehall and part hip-hop. His lyrics are a powerful and unflinching look at the harsh realities of life in the tougher parts of Jamaica. He paints a picture that is both scary and full of pride. He wasn't just singing about peace and love, he was showing the world the other side of the Paradise Island. The song was a massive international hit. It won a Grammy Award and introduced a new generation of fans to conscious reggae music. It proved that the Marley legacy was in good hands and that reggae could still be as powerful, relevant, and hard-hitting in the 21st century as it was in the 1972. It was a bridge between reggae's golden age and its future. Damian Marley showed how a powerful male voice could command the new century, but what about the powerful women of reggae? 2. My Boy Lollipop by Millie Small. Let's set the scene. Imagine a time before reggae was even a word. Way back in the early 1962, the music lighting up Jamaica was a super fast, upbeat, and happy sound called ska. It was music made for dancing, with jumping bass lines and exciting horns. For the most part, only people in Jamaica and some folks in England knew about it. The rest of the world had no idea what they were missing out on. Then, a young Jamaican singer named Millie Small came along. She recorded a song called My Boy Lollipop. Now, this song was pure fun. It had that bouncy ska rhythm, a super catchy harmonica part, and Millie's unique, high-pitched voice that sounded like nothing else on the radio. Truth be told, it was so full of energy and sunshine, you couldn't help but smile when you heard it. Here's the part that changed everything. The song became a massive monster hit. We're talking number 2 on the charts in both the United States and the United Kingdom. It was one of the first times a song from Jamaica's new music scene had become a global sensation. Suddenly, millions of people who had never heard of ska were dancing to its beat. It opened the door for Jamaican music to step onto the world stage. It was a sweet and innocent taste of what was to come from this little island. That sweet taste was just the beginning. As the music in Jamaica started to change, it got a little slower, a little cooler, and a whole lot tougher. The next song to make waves would have a secret agent theme and become the anthem for a whole new kind of street-smart youth. 3. 007 Shantytown by Desmond Dekker and the Aces. After the super-fast energy of ska, the beat in Jamaica started to chill out. Things got a little slower, the bass lines got heavier, and the music became cooler. This new style was called rocksteady. It was the perfect soundtrack for the hot Jamaican nights. At the same time, a new kind of character was emerging in the streets of Kingston, the capital city. They were called Rude Boys. These were tough, stylish young men who lived by their own rules. This is where the amazing Desmond Dekker comes in. He was already a star in Jamaica, but with the song 007 Shantytown, he became an international legend. The song was inspired by the James Bond movies, which were super popular at the time. The title 007 was a clear nod to the famous secret agent. But this song wasn't about fancy spies in tuxedos, it was about the rude boys. The lyrics talked about the rude boys running through town and causing a stir. The beat was a perfect example of rocksteady, slow and cool with a bass line you could feel in your chest. When the song was released, it was a huge hit in Jamaica because everyone understood the rude boy culture. But then, it became a massive hit in the UK too. It gave the rest of the world a peek into the real life and struggles happening on the streets of Jamaica. It was raw, it was real, and it was incredibly cool. The music was getting more and more popular, but it still didn't have its final name. The beat was about to change again, slowing down even more and finding its true groove. The next song on our list would finally give this new sound a name, all thanks to a simple title that described a new dance. 4. Do the Reggae by Toots and the Maytals. Okay, so we've had the fast fun of ska and the cool vibes of rocksteady, but the sound was still evolving. Musicians in Jamaica kept experimenting, and the beat started to get a little choppier, a little more hypnotic. The focus shifted to the guitar and the organ playing a special scratchy rhythm. The bass and drums became the heartbeat of the music. It was a brand new feeling, but what in the world do you call it? Enter the legendary Frederick Toots Hibbert and his band, the Maytals. Toots was a powerhouse of a singer with a voice full of soul and energy. In 1968, they released a song called Do the Reggae. The song itself was amazing, a perfect party track that just made you want to move. But the most important part of the song was right there in the title. According to Toots, reggae was a word people used to describe something that was messy or not put together well, like raggedy clothes. He thought it fit the new, looser style of music and the dance people were doing to it. So he put it in the song title. And just like that, a name was born. This was the first popular song to use the word reggae. It stuck. From that moment on, this new Jamaican sound had an official name. The song was a hit and helped define the genre. It wasn't just a great tune, it was a birth announcement. Reggae music had arrived and finally had a name. But a name is one thing. The next song would take that new sound and put it in a movie that would introduce reggae to a whole new generation of fans around the globe, turning a Jamaican musician into a movie star. 5. The Harder They Come by Jimmy Cliff. Oh, yeah. By the early 1972, reggae music was the king of the Jamaican music scene, but it was still mostly a mystery to the rest of the world. It needed something big, something powerful, to push it over the top and make it a household name everywhere. That something was a movie, and its title song was an absolute masterpiece. The movie was called The Harder They Come, and it starred the incredibly talented singer Jimmy Cliff. He played a young man from the countryside who comes to the big city to become a music star, but gets caught up in a life of hardship. The movie was a gritty and realistic look at life in Jamaica, and the soundtrack? It was pure reggae gold. The title track, The Harder They Come, sung by Jimmy Cliff himself, was the heart and soul of the whole thing. The song is a powerful anthem of defiance and determination. With lyrics about fighting for what is yours and never giving up, it spoke to anyone who ever faced a tough challenge. The music itself was perfect reggae, with a strong, steady rhythm and Jimmy's passionate, soaring vocals. It was a song of hope and struggle, all rolled into one. The movie and its soundtrack were a huge international success. For many people in America and Europe, this was their very first time hearing authentic reggae music. It opened the floodgates. The film showed the world the culture that reggae came from, and the song gave them an anthem. It turned Jimmy Cliff into a global star and put reggae music firmly on the world map. The movie showed the world the struggles of life in Jamaica, but back on the island, the music was also becoming a source of spiritual strength. The next song on our list was so important and so spiritual that it became more than just a song. It became a hymn for a new faith. 6. Sata Masagana by the Abyssinians. While some reggae songs were becoming international hits, a deeper, more spiritual movement was growing in Jamaica. This was the rise of the Rastafari movement. Rastas believe that Haile Selassie, the former emperor of Ethiopia, is a divine figure. Their beliefs deeply influenced reggae music, which became a way to spread their message of peace, love, and justice. This new style was called Roots Reggae. Out of this movement came one of the most important and respected songs in reggae history, Sata Masagana, by a vocal group called the Abyssinians. The title is in an ancient Ethiopian language called Amharic, and it means "give thanks." The song itself sounds ancient and holy. The melody, with its haunting horns and minor key, feels like a sacred chant. The lyrics are all about faith and a deep connection to Africa, which Rastas consider their spiritual homeland. It's a song of praise and worship. The harmonies of the three singers blend together perfectly, creating a sound that is both beautiful and powerful. When you listen to it, you can feel the deep belief and emotion behind every word. Here's the amazing part. The song was so different and so spiritual that at first, record producers in Jamaica were hesitant to release it. But the Abyssinians believed in their music and released it themselves. It slowly became a massive hit, first in Jamaica and then with reggae fans all over the world. It is considered one of the ultimate Rasta anthems, a perfect example of how reggae music became the voice for a powerful spiritual movement. This song showed how reggae could be a form of prayer. The next song took that idea of spreading a message and turned it into a powerful call to action, demanding rights and justice for people everywhere. 7. Get Up, Stand Up by the Wailers. By 1973, the Wailers, a group featuring Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, and Bunny Wailer, were on the verge of becoming the biggest band in reggae music. Their music was starting to reach audiences far beyond Jamaica. They were masters of the reggae groove, but they also knew that music could be a weapon for change. They used their songs to talk about poverty, injustice, and the need for people to fight for a better life. And then they released Get Up, Stand Up. This song was not a suggestion, it was a command. It is one of the most powerful and direct protest songs ever written. The song starts with a funky, unforgettable bass line that grabs you immediately. Then the lyrics come in, sharp and clear. The message is simple. Don't wait for someone else to save you or for promises of a better life in the hereafter. You have to stand up and fight for your rights, right here, right now. Each of the main members had a verse. Peter Tosh's fiery delivery and Bob Marley's passionate plea combined to create an electrifying call to arms. The song was a direct challenge to the systems that kept people down. It was bold, it was fearless, and it was incredibly catchy. Get Up, Stand Up became a worldwide anthem for human rights. It has been used in protests and rallies all over the globe, from Africa to America. It proved that reggae music wasn't just for dancing and relaxing, it was a powerful tool for social and political change. It cemented the Wailers' reputation as musical revolutionaries who were not afraid to speak truth to power. The Wailers used their voices to spread their message, but some Jamaican artists were experimenting with the music itself, taking it apart and rebuilding it in strange and wonderful new ways. The next track on our list was a crazy experiment that created a whole new type of music called dub, and it all happened in a recording studio. 8. King Tubby Meets Rockers Uptown by Augustus Pablo and King Tubby. What if you could take a song, strip it down to its bones, and then rebuild it into something completely new and otherworldly? That's the question that a few brilliant studio wizards in Jamaica started asking in the 1972nd. They were called dub engineers, and the king of them all was a man named Osborne Ruddock, better known as King Tubby. King Tubby was a genius with a mixing board. He would take a regular reggae song, remove the vocals, and then play with the remaining instruments. He would make the bass and drums super loud, add mind-bending echo and reverb effects, and make instruments appear and disappear as if by magic. He was creating a new kind of music called dub. The perfect example of this incredible new sound is the track King Tubby Meets Rockers Uptown. The original song was a straightforward reggae tune called Baby I Love You So by a musician named Jacob Miller. A melodica player named Augustus Pablo added his haunting instrument to it. Then it was given to King Tubby. What he did with it was pure magic. He turned the song inside out. The drums crash in and out with heavy echo. The bass line becomes the lead instrument, a deep, rumbling monster. Augustus Pablo's melodica floats through the track like a ghost. It sounds like music from another planet. It was a complete reinvention of what a song could be. This track showed the world the incredible creativity happening in Jamaican recording studios and created the foundation for genres like remixing, hip-hop, and electronic dance music. King Tubby showed how powerful the instruments alone could be, but the message in the lyrics was still incredibly important. The next song took its lyrics from one of the most famous speeches of the 20th century, turning a political statement into a reggae masterpiece. 9. War by Bob Marley and the Wailers. Bob Marley was becoming more than just a musician. He was becoming a global figure, a voice for the voiceless. He knew that his platform gave him a huge responsibility to spread a message of peace, equality, and unity. For his 1976 album, Rastaman Vibration, he decided to do something no one had ever done before. He took a speech and turned it into a song. The speech was given by Ethiopian Emperor Haile Selassie at the United Nations in 1963. In the speech, the emperor talked about the dream of a world without inequality, a world where the color of a person's skin didn't matter any more than the color of their eyes. He said that until that day, there would be conflict. Bob Marley took those powerful words and set them to a heavy, marching reggae beat. He didn't change the words, he sang them exactly as the emperor had spoken them. The song, simply titled War, is not a celebration of conflict. Instead, it is a powerful statement about the things that cause it. The music is serious and intense. The bass and drums create a heavy, marching rhythm, like an army of peace. When Bob Marley sang those words, he gave them a new life and a new audience of millions. The song was a brilliant and creative way to spread a message of human rights. It showed that reggae could be intellectual, political, and deeply spiritual all at the same time. It remains one of the most powerful and important songs in his entire collection, a perfect fusion of music and message. Marley used the words of an emperor to look at the future, but other artists were looking back into history to inspire pride in the present. The next song was a tribute to a Jamaican hero, and it helped start a new wave of historical consciousness in reggae music. 10. Marcus Garvey by Burning Spear. While Bob Marley was becoming a global superstar, other artists in Jamaica were diving deep into the roots of Rastafari and Black history. One of the most powerful and unique voices to emerge from this time was Winston Rodney, known to the world as Burning Spear. His music was different. It was hypnotic, chant-like, and felt like it was coming from an ancient place. Burning Spear's most famous and important work is his tribute to the Jamaican national hero, Marcus Garvey. Garvey was a leader in the early 20th century who preached a message of Black pride and the importance of people of African descent connecting with their heritage. His ideas were a huge inspiration for the Rastafari movement. The song Marcus Garvey is a masterpiece of roots reggae. It opens with a majestic horn line that sounds like a royal announcement. The rhythm is deep and meditative, pulling you into a trance. Burning Spear doesn't sing as much as he chants, repeating Garvey's name and talking about his history and his predictions. The song is a history lesson set to music. It was a massively important song in Jamaica. It helped educate a new generation about one of their most important historical figures. It sparked a new wave of conscious reggae, where artists used their music to teach and to inspire pride. Burning Spear's unique sound and powerful message made him a legend and showed another side of what reggae music could be, namely a tool for education and empowerment. Reggae wasn't just about history and politics, however, it also had a softer, more romantic side. The next song on our list would launch a whole new subgenre of reggae made for cuddling up and falling in love. 11. Silly Games by Janet Kay. By the late 1972, reggae had spread far from Jamaica, especially to the United Kingdom, where a large Jamaican community had put down roots. In the UK, a new style of reggae was starting to bubble up. It was smoother, sweeter, and more polished than the raw roots reggae coming from Jamaica. The lyrics were not about struggle or spirituality, they were about love and relationships. This new sound was called Lovers Rock. And the Queen of Lovers Rock, the song that defines the entire genre, is without a doubt Silly Games by a singer named Janet Kay. The song is pure romance. The music is light and breezy, with a gentle reggae beat, soft keyboards, and a beautiful melody. It's the kind of song that makes you want to grab someone's hand and dance slowly. But what makes Silly Games a legendary track is Janet Kay's incredible vocal performance. Near the end of the song, she hits a series of super high notes that seem to float into the sky. It is one of the most famous and breathtaking moments in all of reggae music. That high note became her signature and a moment that everyone waited for when they heard the song. The song was a massive hit in the UK, reaching number 2 on the pop charts. It proved that reggae could be soft and romantic as well as tough and political. It gave a voice to female artists and opened the door for a whole new style of reggae that focused on the universal theme of love. It remains a beloved classic, the ultimate lovers' rock anthem. From the sweet sounds of love, we now return to the streets. The next song was a raw and powerful look at the tension in the cities, and it became so influential that it was even adopted by a completely different style of music, punk rock. 12. Police and Thieves by Junior Murvin. Back in Jamaica, the political situation in the mid-1972 was very tense. There was a lot of conflict and turmoil in the streets of Kingston. As always, reggae music was there to document what was happening. Artists were writing songs that were like newspaper reports, telling the stories of the people and their struggles. One of the most vivid and powerful of these songs was Police and Thieves by Junior Murvin. The song was produced by the legendary studio wizard Lee Scratch Perry, who gave it a spooky, echoing sound that perfectly matched the serious subject matter. The song describes a scene of chaos on the streets, with authorities and troublemakers clashing. What makes the song so special is Junior Murvin's incredible falsetto voice. He sings in a high, soaring tone that is full of emotion and urgency. He sounds like a reporter on the scene, watching everything unfold. The combination of his beautiful high voice and the dark, serious lyrics creates a powerful contrast that makes the song unforgettable. The song was a huge hit in Jamaica, but its story doesn't end there. In England, a new style of music called punk rock was exploding. Punk rockers loved the raw energy and rebellious spirit of reggae. A famous punk band called The Clash heard Police and Thieves and decided to record their own version. Their cover introduced the song to a whole new audience of rock fans and showed the deep connection between reggae and punk, two styles of music that were all about challenging the system. The influence of reggae was spreading in surprising ways. But the next song on our list would become a worldwide pop sensation. Sung by a group of kids after a clever change to its lyrics made it friendly for everyone. 13. Pass the Dutchie by Musical Youth.
Generation rules.
By the early 1982, reggae had proven it could be political, spiritual, romantic, and rebellious. But could it be a #1 pop hit sung by a group of children? The answer was a big, loud yes. A group of young boys from England, called Musical Youth, took the world by storm with a song that was so catchy it was impossible not to sing along. That song was Pass the Dutchie. The tune was a clever combination of two older reggae songs. The beat was infectious, the horns were bright and cheerful, and the kids' voices were full of youthful energy. The song also came with a super popular music video that was played constantly on television. But here is the secret to its massive success. The original song that Pass the Dutchie was based on had lyrics about a specific kind of herbal meditation pipe. The producers knew that to get on the radio all over the world, they would have to change the words. So they changed the title and the lyrics. A duchy is a type of cooking pot. The new lyrics were about being hungry and wanting food. It was a genius move. The song, now with its family-friendly message, became a global smash hit. It went to #1 in the UK and was a top 10 hit in the United States. For a whole new generation of kids, this was their first introduction to the sounds of reggae. It proved that the reggae beat was so powerful it could cross all borders and appeal to people of all ages. The pop-friendly sound of musical youth was fun, but back in Jamaica, a technological revolution was about to happen. The next song was created by accident on a cheap keyboard, and it would change the sound of reggae music forever, kicking off the age of digital dancehall. 14. Under Me Slang Tang by Wayne Smith. For decades, reggae music had been made by live musicians. The heartbeat of the music was the real-life drummer and bass player locking into a groove. But in the mid-1982, technology was changing everything. New electronic keyboards and drum machines were becoming cheap and easy to find. And one of those keyboards held a secret that would change Jamaican music forever. The story goes that a young singer named Wayne Smith and a producer named Prince Jammy were playing around with a new Casio keyboard. They weren't trying to invent anything new, but then they stumbled upon a preset rhythm pattern that was built into the keyboard. It was a rocky, robotic-sounding beat that was totally different from anything in reggae at the time. They loved it. They took that digital rhythm, now famously known as the Slang Tang Rhythm, spelled Slengteng, and Wayne Smith sang over it. The result was the song Under Me Slang Tang. The sound was revolutionary. There were no real drums, no real bass player, just the raw electronic pulse of the keyboard. When the song was first played at a sound system dance in Jamaica, people went wild. It was so new and so different that nobody knew what to do at first, but they quickly fell in love with it. The song became a monster hit, and soon everyone wanted to record their own song over the Slang Tang rhythm. It kicked off the digital age of reggae, creating the new subgenre of dancehall. From that point on, electronic beats would become a central part of Jamaican music. 15. Bam Bam by Sister Nancy. Throughout the history of reggae and dancehall, the scene was mostly dominated by male artists, but there have always been incredibly talented and powerful women who could hold their own on any microphone. One of the true pioneers, a queen of the sound system, is a woman named Offlyn Russell, known to the world as Sister Nancy. In 1982, she recorded a song that, at the time, was just another good tune. But over the years, it would grow and grow in influence until it became one of the most legendary reggae tracks of all time. That song is Bam Bam. The song rides a classic, instantly recognizable reggae rhythm, but it's Sister Nancy's performance that makes it timeless. Her voice is confident and strong. She chants in a style called toasting, a form of Jamaican rapping, and she does it with incredible style and flow. The lyrics are all about her own talent and her place in the music world. It's a song of pure confidence. She is claiming her spot as a top-tier artist in a world of men. Here's what makes the song a true game changer. Over the past few decades, Bam Bam has been sampled and used in hundreds of other songs, from mainstream pop hits to legendary hip-hop tracks. That iconic opening line and the rhythm are so perfect that artists keep coming back to it again and again. It has become one of the most reused and respected pieces of music to ever come out of Jamaica. It cemented Sister Nancy's legacy as a trailblazing female artist and created a sound that will, without a doubt, live on forever.